Hello pilots, Max here. Today we're taking out the J7W1 Shinden into air simulator battles and showcasing its capabilities. The J7W, the Shinden, a most peculiar looking aircraft, one of the very few pusher props in the game. Being probably the most unique aircraft in the Japanese tech tree, I know for a fact that some take it out to fly expecting greatness, only to be disappointed. By the numbers, it seems like a very good plane. 730 km per hour top speed in a straight line, 11.9 kg per second of burst mass, and 1930 horsepower at war emergency power seems like a great aircraft at first. Unfortunately, the plane is slow to accelerate, too unmaneuverable to take advantage of any situation you find yourself in, and the guns, while powerful, have a painfully slow muzzle velocity. On top of that, its weird and unconventional airframe makes it deceptively easy to stall. I'll be using the Shinden for the one thing it can do well, and that is bomber interception. The high speed is only viable if you chase down bombers which don't try to outturn or outspeed you, and the 30mm cannons, while borderline unusable against fighters due to the terrible fire rate and muzzle velocity, do a respectable job at deleting bombers. As a result, the J7W1 really does not provide that enjoyable of a gameplay loop. To play effectively, you have to take off, look for bombers, and if a fighter intercepts you, the best thing you can do is either outrun or outclimb them, as you realistically stand little chance against most fighters at battle ratings as high as 6.0. The second PE8 kill really shows the main disadvantage of these cannons, which is the really poor spread. This poor spread forces you to get uncomfortably close to a bomber to get the kill, which will almost always result in you getting shot. Fortunately, one advantage of its high speed is the fact that this Shinden can fly surprisingly straight when missing a wing, which is a helpful feature in a plane that forces you to essentially ram bombers to secure a kill. This footage here will really show how the Shinden struggles significantly even with intercepting slow, straight-flying bombers. When approaching from the head-on, it does not have enough of a turn rate to put your nose in front of the target, and the cannons force you to spend an uncomfortable amount of time right in the face of the enemy gunners after you loop around and get on their tail, which almost always results in you getting shot, as I did here. Luckily for me, after getting my oil tank completely shredded by that Tupolev Tu-2, I was close enough to an airfield to safely land, repair, and rearm. Unluckily for me, the repair module of this airfield was very damaged, resulting in a super long repair time for me, giving time for that Petliakov PE8 to drop the entirety of Satan's wrath directly on my forehead, killing me. At this point, I'm just looking for enemies to maybe get a kill or two, and show off some of the Shinden's redeeming qualities. I spot a P-51 Mustang, going for the head-on, hoping that at least one of my 4 nose-mounted cannons will hit. They did not. I try to turn after him, but my plane's maneuverability is so deceptively poor that I stand less than no chance in a turn fight, and I try to go vertical to line up for another head-on. At this point, I've already lost the fight, as the Mustang's higher fire rate machine guns are all it takes to pilot snipe me, as the J7W1 has absolutely nothing in terms of pilot protection or survivability. As I try to follow what looks to be a damaged plane, tracer fire from behind lets me know of my impending demise. I turn as hard as my plane will let me, trying to get a visual on whoever's chasing me, which is not an easy thing to do considering the engine blocks most if not all of your rear visibility. I realize I cannot outturn that yak, try to pull vertical hoping for a miracle, which did not happen. I quickly spawn back in, seeing that our airfield is under attack. I rush to take off and turn, which was a big mistake, as the Shinden is very fast to stall if you're not careful. I'd recommend accelerating to at least 270 km per hour before attempting any turns, because as you can see, this thing is an enormous fan of turning a fireball if you aren't careful. Finally, I managed to take off to face the enemy F-6F, a plane that usually I'd lose 9 out of 10 dogfights against. In an incredible stroke of luck though, my last round in that head-on hit him, finally resulting in me getting a fighter kill. Another thing worth mentioning that makes dogfights even more difficult than they have any right to be is that the muzzle flash of these cannons might as well be like setting off a flashbang in front of your face every time you fire continuously, making it super hard to aim while shooting. For the last couple kills of the match, I find some AI fighters circling an airfield and a bomber that's leading for landing. Unfortunately, situations like these where the enemies are on the ground or defenseless, or those destroy AI bombers or AI attack aircraft tasks, are really the only way you can effectively get score in the Shinden. After strafing the airfield and taking out that landing bomber, I find another bomber which is flying low and slow, the only targets that can really be effectively taken out by the J7W1. So, that was the J7W1 Shinden. Overall, wouldn't just say that I'm disappointed with this plane, I'm just sad it doesn't perform as well as I think we'd all like it to. In one sentence, I'd say that this plane has probably one of the most boring and tedious playstyles for air simulator in the Japanese tech tree. I'm not saying it can't do anything properly. The things it can't do, it does fairly well, but its strengths don't extend past its powerful engine and streamlined airframe, making for a fast plane. Its speed is the only plus I can see in it. Its only effective use case is intercepting bombers or taking energy fighting to the extreme, diving onto fighters from very high altitudes. Furthermore, its less than great airframe is further crippled by the low velocity high spread cannons. All I can say is, no wonder this thing was never adopted by the Japanese during World War II. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I suffered recording it. Soon I will be getting the Battle Pass aircraft for the Japanese tech tree, so expect a video on that as well. As always, thank you for watching, have a good one, and take care.